If you want to start a business but you're afraid of failing, then I have the antidote for that fear in this video. But first, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Mack and I help everyday people build automated cleaning businesses. And I'm also the author of the Amazon bestseller, Pick Up Cash, Not Trash. That is perfect for anyone looking to start and grow an automated cleaning business for themselves without getting dirty in the process. And if you're interested in getting that book for yourself, you can get it below for free. All you gotta do is cover the shipping. It's first link in the description, all right? But now let's get right into it. All right, so the reason why I'm making this video is because I, believe it or not, get a lot of comments and emails where it's like people are like, hey, I like your content, I'm really into it, but I'm nervous to get started, or I'm afraid of so many different things. A lot of times though, I'll give those people credits because at least they realize that that's really all in the way. They're just kind of like dealing with fear. Whereas other people think it's other things, but in reality, it's just fear materializing, and we're kind of making excuses like, oh, you know, I would, but I can't because of X or D. There are legitimate reasons, of course, but there are also a lot of times it's just fear. This video, I'm gonna give you real practical exercises or just things that you can implement immediately to get over that fear, all right? You know, I've started several businesses before. Now it's like, oh, it's so exciting. It's like a new baby. You're making a new company and there's so much wonder and joy and, you know, because now I have security where I can do that. Thanks for my automated cleaning business, I can start other ventures, right? But in the beginning when I had nothing, it was scary, of course. It's terrifying. Why? Because there's so much you don't know. If you wait too long, you kind of got two enemies working against you. And the first thing is it just builds anxiety, right? The more we wait, the more anxious we get. And for most people, they never fulfill like their dream of like going to start their own business because they let fear kind of take control for so long. Before you know it, like it's like almost like the boat is in a sense passed because now they're locked in a position they don't want to be in and they're working crazy amounts of hours and it feels like they can't escape. They think back and they say, I wish I would have started, you know? So that's the first enemy. The other enemy I think is super duper important is you don't experience it until the other side. For the people who do start, I fell victim to this too, where it's like I dealt with serious regret once my cleaning business actually took off and we became successful. I started thinking back like, wow, you know, I spent a lot of my 20s just not succeeding and very kind of like ashamed of where I was as far as like where I thought I should be. And that's killer too, because seeing where I am today at 33 years old, I think back and it's like, oh man, like what if I was doing this at like 24? Oh man, why couldn't I have been doing this then? Where would I be now? We don't want that, all right? So in this video, right now, we're gonna jump into what you can apply immediately. Get your pen and paper out. All right, so the first thing you need to do, we're gonna start changing our mindset. We're gonna start changing how we look at certain things. And the first thing we need to change how we look at are mistakes. What is a mistake essentially? I mean, you know what that is, right? I'm not trying to bore you here, but think about what a mistake is. You're either doing something on accident or you're just doing something like, I wasn't aware, sorry, I was kind of ignorant, so I didn't know. And then what happens? You move on with your life. That's it. So when people have this fear of failure with business, of course it's easy for me to say now when it comes to like cleaning businesses, it's like I know what I'm doing. But before I didn't know what I was doing. So obviously it's easy to say, oh, just do it. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna love it. Company changed my life. But in the beginning, we fear making mistakes so much. But you gotta think about it. What is a mistake really? All a mistake is really is just pulling you closer to your goal. Example, if I go out and I land a walkthrough for a big client, I'm so excited, but I'm also very anxious. I'm just starting out, I don't know what I'm doing. I go there, I hand in maybe a business pamphlet, whatever you give, business card, whatever, and the person looks at me like I'm weird because maybe I just missed some type of etiquette. Maybe I came in with basketball shorts on and he's like, what is this? And then I'm like, wow, I kind of made a fool of myself. And guess what? Maybe you don't land that client. Now you know without a shadow of a doubt you have to up your game. You have to level your game up. And then from there, you're not gonna make those types of mistakes ever again, okay? That's a powerful teaching lesson. So that's the mindset trick. Look at these miniature failures and mistakes as like teachable moments, as moments that are gonna make you better. I made so many mistakes in the beginning. So many mistakes in the beginning. Seriously, I'm the most qualified to give you this information because of how many mistakes I made in the beginning. But switch it into a learning lesson. Look at it as learning. Nobody has it all figured out, especially in the beginning. So if you give yourself that freedom to screw up here and there, it's okay, but fail forward. That's the mindset for one. Let's get to the second one. Okay, the second thing, this one was something I needed to do, someone who kind of struggled with a bit of like negativity, like growing up and everything. But before we get into it, if you are enjoying this video, if you are getting value from this video, hit me with that thumbs up. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, hit that subscribe button. I bring videos like this to you every week, twice a week, so you're not gonna wanna miss it. Now let's get back into it. So the second thing, like I said, it's we have to change our thinking on mistakes, but we also have to think bigger, okay? So there's a book out there called The Magic of Thinking Big, right? And it's one of those books where I don't subscribe to necessarily everything inside of it. However, the core essence of the book is something that really hits me. Growing up, I was very negative. Like, we grew up in a house where my dad was a single father. He raised 3 boys. We didn't have a lot of money at all. If anything, I'm just making that light because my dad was working like a madman to make sure we had what we had, and love him to death. He did his job. But going to school, I see other people, just like other people's kids. They had the newest Jordans, they had the newest this, new football jerseys, new everything, and I'm just getting like hand-me-downs from my brother or whatever. And the point is I kind of grew up with like a real poor mindset, like a real lack mindset. Something like I wasn't good enough to achieve success. I wasn't good enough to get financially free. So as you can imagine, you take that mindset into business, and then let's say you finally start a business, right? Let's say I start thinking, I get over my fear of starting, but now I'm like, we start getting some success, and then I start thinking to myself like, okay, we got our first few accounts, but we'll never be able to bill $1,000 a month. I would like seriously lock myself up in my head, like we're not gonna get much bigger than that. You know, my wife Jess was like, no, we can do $50,000 a month. We could do more than that. And I'm just like, no, we'll never be able to hit 10. Like in my head, I really had to think like that, but then I had to check myself. I had to really check myself, and I said, give me a good reason why you can't do that. Oh, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, then you figure out how to do that. You level up, you read books, you get a course, you get a coach. You can do that. There's no reason why you couldn't do it. If other people are doing it, why can't you do it? You think about it like that, and there's really no excuse. So if you're dealing with that same lack mindset as me, I totally feel you, because I work with that too. Like, especially if you're the first one in your family that's an entrepreneur, or the first one at anything, like the first one with money. Everyone else is working like a 9 to 5, and they're doing okay, but they're not doing great. You have an opportunity to break through. You have an opportunity to inspire people, and the way we do that is by thinking big, setting bigger goals, and then letting your subconscious know, like, hey, there's no excuse why we can't. So you need to get on board. You need to get on this train, or you're gonna get ran over. Let's get to the third thing. Okay, this is the third thing. This is super powerful. So a friend of mine, about 10 years ago, you know, he hurt his back playing sports, and he gained a lot of weight. He gained about 40 or 50 pounds, and he felt so sluggish, and this once athletic freak athlete was just like, he had this big keg around his stomach, and he just felt uncomfortable. His back was hurting. He was eating Oreos like all day long. He was just in a bad spot. And then he said, that's it, enough is enough. And then he went, and then over the next 6 months, he totally transformed his body. He lost all his weight. He went from 253 all the way down to 205, shredded wheat, completely back. You know, all of us would be like, oh, Chris, like, wow, what did you do? Like, what was the grind like of getting back in shape? And right, I want you to pay attention to this part, because this is very important. You know what he said? He said, no, guys, the grind wasn't getting in shape. The grind was sitting on my couch eating Oreos, feeling sorry for myself. That was the grind. The grind was coming up with excuses every single Sunday night of why we couldn't work out Monday morning. That was the grind. And now to take that back, to snap that back into business, what is the grind? The grind is living in your fear. The grind is not taking the action you know you need to take in order to free yourself from where you are. I don't care if you're making a lot of money. I was making a lot of money with the cleaning business at the beginning, but all my time was gone. So that's not really success. Now, I'm talking about the type of success where you can spend all the time you want, like with your family, with your friends, with your lover, whatever. That's what I'm talking about, freedom. Plus you have the money to do what you want to do. So that's what I'm saying. You have to flip that switch. So even if you are succeeding financially, but you're not maybe with your body and free time, well, this is what I'm talking about. You need to flip that switch. You need to realize that you're on the grind right now. Starting your cleaning business, however, is not a grind. No, that's a beautiful endeavor. That's you escaping a situation that's undesirable in your life, okay? That is the power of it right now. So if you could just switch your mindset to say, no, the grind isn't, oh, I gotta start a business and build it from zero. No, that's fun. That's something that's gonna inspire you. That's like the juice of life. Like, I'm serious here. The grind, though, however, is making excuses, is sitting there past it year by year, not being where you wanna be. That is the absolute grind. I hope you're ready to push through. If you are just starting out and you're like, all right, cool, but what do I do? check this masterclass out right now. And if you don't have the time for that this moment, you need to watch this video right here. Peace out, Cub Scouts.